Lisa Damour is a truly accomplished woman. She graduated with honors from Yale University before earning her doctorate in clinical psychology at the University of Michigan. We are delighted to welcome Dr. Lisa Damour back to Branksome Hall.
I wrote this book because I love teenage girls, and I think they are severely underestimated, unbelievably complex creatures. And my aim in writing this book was to try to give us a way to make sense of what teenagers are going through. The patterns that I was thinking about actually started to divide themselves into 7 discrete developmental tasks. These are actually the chapter titles for the book. So, parting with childhood, joining a new tribe, this is when they find friends, harnessing emotions, this is when they're freaking out, right? Contending with adult authority, planning for the future, entering the romantic world, and then caring for herself. So much of what teenagers are going through has to do with their efforts to make these developmental transitions. A lot of parents feel like, their daughter turns 12 and they hardly know who she is anymore. It becomes very, very chaotic very fast. So the goal here is to make order out of chaos. When we think in terms of these developmental transitions, behavior that was challenging or confusing can start to make sense. Things that we're thinking, what is she doing or what is that about? We can reframe them as being, this is her making an effort along this particular transition. So parting with childhood, a couple of the things that we see, girls become a lot more private. Girls start to close their bedroom door to do the exact same thing they used to do with the door wide open, and that is normal and expectable. Where it's hard in terms of the school interaction is, you don't get a lot of information about what happened at school. Girls come home and you're like, so how was school? Fine. What'd you do? Stuff. The day is incredibly long. Even in glorious, glorious schools, a lot of the day can be pretty tedious. My experience is, for the most part, by the time the day is done, it's done. And I think often in those moments when we say, tell me about your day, if they sort of, please recount the most boring meeting you had all day, right? You'd be like, what? No, it happened, it's over, I'm done. And I think we need to grant that to girls as well. All right, moving on to joining a new tribe, when we actually dig into the research on popularity. So there are kids who are popular because they're really likable and kids like them. Then there are kids who are called popular because kids are nervous around them because they're willing to be mean. And that is a very nice way to start to sort of pull away at that concept of popularity and wonder about where it's coming from and what it's worth. The happiest girls have 1 or 2 good friends. That's it. That's part of our job as parents, is to help them say, no, this is perfect, this is ideal. It's not so great to have so many connections. What you have is exactly the right thing. Okay, harnessing emotions. Your daughter freaking out. Girls more than boys engage in what we call vicarious stress, which is if their friend is stressed, now they're stressed, right? They're upset on behalf of their friend, right? And then, of course, when girls are upset, what do? They go discuss it, right? So you have one distressed girl who talks to 3 friends who are all now very distressed, who talk to multiple friends, and so you get this catalytic reaction of things just exploding through the class. Either they tell us nothing or they complain a huge amount, right? This is you, the emotional dumping ground. Say to girls, do you want my help or do you just need to vent? I've had so many parents come back to me and say, that really was a game changer. If your daughter comes home and dumps it all on you and feels way better having done that, your job is done. I have to tell you, this is my favorite chapter, Contending with Adult Authority. When your daughter comes home and starts to really critique the grown-ups in her world, coaches, teachers, any of these people, I would just say, okay, so that's the hand you've been dealt. I understand this is not something you like. I think it's firmly in the category of stuff you can handle. And how can I help you handle it? Right? I mean, we can support that in our daughters. I was at a school in Princeton, New Jersey last week, and I got to meet with the upper school girls, and I said, I'm going to meet with your parents tonight. Is there anything you want me to tell them? And a girl said, she actually said, please tell them that when I tell them about my day, the only thing I want them to say is, oh my God, that sucks. Right, like that will get you so far. Okay, so planning for the future. Girls are ambitious. Girls at Branksome are ambitious. We all have big dreams. Eventually, somewhere along the way, girls will come up against a limit that they have not acquainted themselves with before. One unbelievably loving, not very helpful way to react is we say, what? She got the lead in the play? Are you kidding me? I mean, like all of these things, where we try to rescue them. We are so much better off when we work in the vein articulated by Carol Dweck. Take away the concept of best. It is the most fragile position you could possibly put yourself in. Always just focus on better. Developing skill set, growing strength. Okay, entering the romantic world. When girls are made to feel self-conscious about their bodies, it actually impairs their ability to do intellectual tasks. Here's the answer to this problem: the gorgeous uniforms at Branksome Hall. It just takes that piece out, When we talk with girls about their romantic lives, we always talk about girls being on defense, right? What I've started to say to girls is, there's risks that come with romantic activity. That's got to be the third part of the conversation. The first thing you must think about is, what do I want? When I have this conversation with 9th grade girls, I've had girls actually blurt out, no adult has ever said that to me. That's terrible, right? It's terrible that we take this lovely, joyous part of human life and make girls feel like, you're on defense, baby. Don't let anything bad happen. So I say, first you think about what you want. Then you think about what your partner wants, right? And you need to talk with your partner about what they have in mind. Then, if what you want involves the potential for risk, you and your partner need to sort that out and take good care of both of yourselves. But first what you want, then what your partner wants, then taking good care of yourself. So when we look at cultures that talk with their daughters this way, what we see is those girls take the best care of themselves when they get into romantic interactions. They have the best sexual health in the industrialized world. Okay. Finally, girls caring for themselves. And the low-grade stuff is sleeping and eating, and then it goes up from there. And my experience is that when adults sort of come in with our opinions about this, a lot of girls drop the veil of obedience. And this is where they are totally in disagreement with us, and they're nodding and smiling. They are not even listening, but they are really good at smiling and nodding. The veil of obedience comes down when we talk about, these are my rules that I want you to abide by. I think there's something about being a teenager that as soon as you hear a rule, you're like, why? How do I break it? No matter what the rule is, there's something kind of reflexive about, if that's the rule, then I'm curious about why we have the rule and if we really need it. Everything having to do with your daughter's self-care, the caring for herself, this last task of adolescence, I would always frame it in terms of autonomy. Her self-care. Not, here's the risky/fun thing, here's your daughter and you're trying to stand in between, right? That's how they conceive of it. Instead, here's your daughter, here's you, and you're looking at the risky fun thing together and saying, I love you. That could get dangerous. What are you going to do to make sure you're safe? We want to have girls be careful around drinking, totally avoid drugs, take great care of themselves when they have romantic things, sleep well, eat well, all of these things, not because we say, but because we are sticking up for the part that wants to take good care of themselves, and they are showing us that they can do that for themselves. That, in my experience, keeps them from getting into that defensive, I'm not listening position anymore. What I have really come to appreciate is that when we really understand development and take ourselves out of the picture often, we can really empower our girls, right? When it's not about my rules, my say, any of those things, when it's about you, your care, your growth, that is when we are best equipped to actually support our daughters.